Are kids at a higher risk of COVID-19? We're going to talk about that and so much more today. My name is Diamond K. Thank you for joining me. It's the Diamond K Show, brought to you by RadioOnFire.com. Get breaking news, entertainment, original programs, and progressive coverage by and for the people. Visit RadioOnFire.com. Your man Diamond K, I am here daily delivering the biggest political and news stories of the day with interviews and original reporting from across America. Let's cut through the foolishness and talk about what's really happening. It's real news every night. On social media, of course, Facebook.com/RadioOnFire, Facebook.com/The Diamond K Show. So much to get into. Let's dive in. So I asked, are children at a higher risk from COVID-19? I think it's a fair question. I mean, you couldn't tell by the way the government is acting. You can't tell that, by their actions, or shall I say, lack thereof. So while children infected with this SARS virus are less likely to develop severe illness compared to adults, right? Children are still at risk of developing severe illness and the complications that come from COVID-19. Recent COVID-19 hospitalization surveillance data shows that the rate of hospitalization among children is low. 8.0 per 100,000 population. Now, compared with adults, 164.5 per 100,000 population, right? But here's the thing. Hospitalization rates in children are increasing. It's going up. While children have lower rates of mechanical ventilation, ventilators, and deaths than adults. 1 in 3 children hospitalized with COVID-19 in America were admitted to the intensive care unit, which is the same numbers as adults. So in Maryland, state health officials say that the third young child is dead from COVID-19. A child younger than 10 years old has died. This is according to health officials. Now, of course, they're not going to release a lot of information as far as the name and what have you, but health officials have confirmed that a child died on Sunday. And, unfortunately, the confidentiality laws and the Maryland Department of Health policies, HIPAA, they would not disclose any further information. But I think that this is something that we need to pay attention to. As of Monday, 6,978 Marylanders have died of COVID-19. 6 have been 10 to 19 years old. The disease, tends to be less frequent and less severe in children. But that doesn't mean that it is not something that we need to pay attention to. Most victims have been 60 or older. So it's a battle. It's a battle, and of course those numbers are not nearly on the range of our seniors and adults. But every life is precious, every life is valuable, and we must make sure that we are taking care of the children. You met Diamond K, of course, in here, RadioFire.com, TheDiamondKShow.com. Let's take a quick break, and we'll come back with more of the program after this. Welcome back to the Diamond K Show. Of course, RadioFire.com, TheDiamondKShow.com. Baltimore County Public Schools plan to phase in hybrid learning in March. And they're going to do this starting March the 1st. The district announced yesterday. Students whose families choose the hybrid learning model will have 2 in-person learning days and 3 virtual learning days per week. This is coming from pressure all throughout the government. Students will be sorted into one of 2 cohorts. Families will still have the option to keep their children home for virtual instruction. How many of you are ready to send your kids back? I mean, you may be ready to get them out the house, but are you ready to send them back? Do you trust Baltimore City, Baltimore County, Maryland schools? Do you trust Maryland schools with your kids during this pandemic? Do you? This is a statement from the superintendent, Darrell L. Williams. He said that we have heard loud and clear that some families are ready for in-person learning. While school operations will look different as we implement the CDC's recommended practices for health and safety, I look forward to greeting students and staff as they return. I also commend staff across the organization for their hard work to prepare for reopening, despite not only the challenges of COVID-19, but also the ongoing and long-term effects of the ransomware attack on our systems. And I think that that's a great thing to bring up. Baltimore City and Baltimore County had trouble protecting the computer system. But you're ready to trust them with the kids right now when nothing has changed. Nothing has changed in the schools. We're going to see. But I'd like to hear from folks that are excited to send their kids back and ready to send their kids back for in-person learning when we have all of these strains of COVID-19 popping up. The vaccines have been half done. For those that want to take it, I'm not one of those people that want to take the vaccine right now. But for those of you that want to take it, you can't even take it right. Because they're not ready. But you're going to let them send your kids back to school. You're going to trust them with your children, your pride and joys. This March date is an answer to Governor Larry Hogan's demand that school systems offer the option to return to classrooms by that date. And I've said this many times. If that's the case, then open everything up, right? Open everything up. I mean, just we're acting like the pandemic is over. If that was the case, then why'd you ever close the schools in the first place? Many places had issues with infections. People coming down with COVID, right? If you think that it's fine to send kids to school, nothing has changed since a year ago. So you should have never took them out of school. But you were worried then, but now, of course, you're ready to send them back to school. Because this is about money, not safety. So let's run down some of the things that are going to happen. In the week of March the 1st, students at Battle Monument, Maiden Choice, Ridge Ruxton, and White Oak School will return to buildings. All 4 days serve students with special educational needs. Okay? In the week of March the 15th, a number of students with special needs will be able to return, including students who are deaf and hearing impaired, and some students who have an individualized educational program, the IEP. Students in select career and technical education programs will be able to return. And from the conversations that I've had with folks, this is the student group that they seem to be concerned about needing the in-person learning. And I understand that. I just want them to make sure that things are safe and that they are protected. that teachers are protected, that the bus drivers are protected, that the folks working in the cafeteria are giving them food, that they're protected, and the administrators are protected, as well as the students. I want to make sure that all these things are happening. But we need to continue. So, and that same week, students in preschool through second grade will be able to return, as will third grade students in a special education regional program. Okay, and then in the week of March the 15th, a number of students with special educational needs will be able to return, including students who are deaf and hearing impaired. Right? Okay, so we went over that. In the week of March the 22nd, the remaining students in the 6th and 9th grade will be able to return. In the week of April 6th, the remaining students in other grades will be able to return. So they're going to try to phase this in slowly. We're going to be good ways into springtime when this happens. Students whose family choose this hybrid learning will be sorted into cohorts A or B based on their addresses. Students whose family choose to continue virtual learning or did not respond to a district questionnaire will be in cohort C. Students in cohort A will come to school Mondays and Tuesdays. Students in cohort B will come to school Thursdays and Fridays. They will continue virtual learning on days that they are not in the building, which is Wednesdays. Okay. And Wednesdays will be days of independent learning for all students, with small scheduled groups in buildings. Also, athletic directors return Monday to prepare for their first practices for fall athletics later this month, and elementary teachers and support staff will return February 22nd. Secondary teachers and support staff will return on March the 8th. So, I mean, there's a lot of moving parts, a lot of things going on there. All elementary schools will return to last school year's start times from March the 1st. To 12 students in preschool through second grade will be sent home 2 hours early, and all elementary schools will return to a full day schedule on March 15th. So there's a lot going on with regards to the scheduling, and they want to say this, that the school system's safety protocol includes face coverings, physical distancing, frequent hand washing, cleaning, and contact tracing. So I'm going to be following this very closely. I've just seen Baltimore City and Baltimore County schools screw up a lot of things, a lot of basic things like water, heat, air, books, so many things. But we're gonna see how this goes, and we're gonna continue to follow this as it progresses. You made Diamond K in here, RadioFire.com, TheDiamondKShow.com. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be back with more of the program after this. Welcome back to the Diamond K Show here on RadioOnFire.com. The pandemic's deadliest month, January, in the U.S., has ended, and slight signs of progress, but this was a difficult month. Deadliest month yet in this COVID-19 outbreak in this country. So COVID-19 cases and hospitalizations are plummeting. Vaccines are slowly picking up speed. So the question is pretty simple: whether the nation can stay ahead of the fast spreading mutations of this virus. That is something that many people are concerned about. U.S. death toll has climbed past 440,000 people. Over 95,000 lives were lost in January alone. 3,150 deaths per day. That's about where we are on average. Now that is down slightly by about 200 from the worst points in mid-January. So now that it is February, the number of Americans in the hospital with COVID-19 fell below 100,000 for the first time in 2 months. So that's the slight bright spot. New cases of infections are averaging about 148,000 per day, falling from almost 250,000 in mid-January. So we're seeing some slight signs. And as cases are trending downward slowly in all 50 states. So is there light at the end of this COVID tunnel? The thing about this virus is that we don't know. It's up and it's down. And with the COVID fatigue, something that's a real thing, something that has caused surges many times in this virus. So we're just going to have to continue to hope and pray and see how things go. The Johnson & Johnson vaccine that is not that effective, but is one shot, seems to be coming to market, coming to emergency use pretty soon. But I keep reminding people with regards to the vaccines and emergency use, these vaccines have not been approved. I repeat, have not been approved by the FDA. They are for emergency use, which gives these companies and the government a blank check, a cloud. They are not responsible because it's not approved. It's emergency use, and that is one of the loopholes that they go through. One of the many things that has me concerned about this vaccine, and the main reason why they've approved it for emergency use but not a regular FDA approval is because they don't have the data. They're getting the data now with people that are taking the vaccine. That I have a problem with. That makes me concerned. That's why I'm not taking the vaccine. But of course, you're free to do what you want to do. Obviously, you want to take the vaccine, by all means, do you. I'm just not quite there yet. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, at The Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire. We're going to take another break, and then we're going to come back and talk about Joe Biden meeting with the Republicans on coronavirus aid. You're listening to The Diamond K Show, radioonfire.com. Stay tuned. We'll be back after this. Welcome back. You had Diamond K in here. RadioFire.com, TheDiamondKShow.com. And if you're on Apple Music or Spotify or any of the digital streaming services, make sure you look up Diamond K on there. Stream and check out my complete catalog of music, Baltimore Club music, dance music, some hip hop tunes. Definitely check that out. Anywhere you get music, just search Diamond K and check that out. So President Biden met with Republicans Monday night talking about coronavirus aid. Now, they weren't able to really get to any kind of a quick deal because the Republicans and the Democrats are just in different places with regards to that. But there was a 2-hour meeting Monday, and the president, he's unwilling to settle on what he's calling an insufficient coronavirus aid package. So the Republicans pitched a very slimmed down $618 billion proposal. Now that is a fraction of the $1.9 trillion that President Biden is looking for. So no compromise was reached. Nothing was worked out in a lengthy session. 2 hours, they said, over that. Biden's first with lawmakers at the White House, and so I'm assuming that this is some things that's going to happen continuously. The Democrats in Congress pushed ahead with groundwork for approving his COVID relief plan with or without Republican votes. That's what they're trying for. Despite the Republican group's appeal for bipartisanship as part of President Biden's efforts, he's trying to unify the country after a very divided 4 years from the previous administration. So the Republicans seem to want to work together. The Democrats want to work together, and that involves both people, both groups, taking some steps back and agreeing to some things that maybe you didn't want, but the other side wants. It's not hard to make a deal. Everybody just needs to come to the table, and you have to be willing to give something up. So the president made it clear that he won't delay aid in hopes of winning GOP support, and I think that that's smart. It appears that the Republicans are just talking, and anything that they don't want to do, they say, "Oh, I thought we were trying to unify." Right? Okay, so you know what I mean? They don't want to hold the president accountable. Well, we want to unify. You don't want to give the American people the money that they need. Oh, you don't want to unify. Okay, well then unify. Put your money where your mouth is. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said that while there were areas of agreement, the president also reiterated his view that Congress must respond boldly and urgently, and noted many areas which Republican senators' proposal does not address. And she said that the president will not slow down on his work on this urgent crisis. We will not settle for a package that fails to meet the moment. And that's one of the things that the president has said frequently, meeting the moment. The two sides are very far apart. And the Republican group of 10 senators focus primarily on the healthcare crisis and smaller $1,000 direct aid to Americans. And Biden leading Democrats towards a more, shall we say, sweeping package, 3 times the size. They want to build up households, local government, and the economy. And for some reason, the Republicans are just not there. And I'm not sure why they're not there. But they need to get their minds right. Of course, RadioFire.com, the Diamond K Show. I am here daily. Radio on Fire is a listener-supported radio and podcast network streaming from our production facilities in Atlanta and Baltimore. We're able to broadcast programs like the Diamond K Show because of our listeners and some amazing partners. Partners like D Lifestyle Secrets. Are you a baby boomer? Were you born between 1946 and 1964? Well, more than 71 million Americans are baby boomers. And as they age and continue to get older, you want to experience as few aches and pains as possible while staying mobile. D Lifestyle Secrets helped you do just that by providing a blueprint to reduce and eliminate joint pain by teaching members to communicate naturally with their bodies. DLifestyleSecrets.com gives baby boomers step-by-step videos, natural recipes, and most importantly, the motivation to re-energize themselves naturally. Visit DLifestyleSecrets.com to join this active community of baby boomers today. And I encourage you to shop with all the companies that support RadioOnFire.com. Have you ever had NutriBurst liquid vitamin? This stuff tastes great, and they say that it is great for you. NutriBurst liquid vitamin. So my girl Moochie told me about this, and me and Moochie go way back. So she says, Diamond K, you have got to try this. So I asked Moochie, what's so special about NutriBurst liquid vitamin? What makes it so good? So then she gave me the rundown. All right, 72 minerals, 10 vitamins, 22 phytonutrients, 19 amino acids, 13 whole vegetables, and 12 herbs. Wow. Get your NutriBurst liquid vitamin today at totallifechanges.com/mymuchi. That's totallifechanges.com/mymuchi. Tell them Radio on Fire sent you. Before we get out of here, I definitely wanted to say thank you for joining me. Of course, I am here daily with the biggest political and news stories of the day, interviews, original reporting from across America, cutting through the foolishness and getting to what's really happening. Real news every night here on RadioOnFire.com. Also, audio versions of the show are available on Apple Podcasts, also on Spotify. This weekend we have a lot of things lined up. Saturday, 6 p.m., Black America 21. It's going to be a critical discussion talking about Black America and where we need to go for 2021. So I'm going to host that this Saturday on Radio on Fire, and a lot of other things coming up because this is big game weekend. So the ladies of Girls Trip Radio are going to be here Saturday, 4 p.m. for their big game live show, and we're also going to have some previews, some predictions for the big game, and that's going to happen on Sunday with the guys from Sports Talk Weekly. So a lot of things going on, and of course I'm going to be here with the Diamond K Show as well as the On Fire Mix Show, and so we have a lot of announcements coming, a lot of shows that are going to be premiering and returning for a new season. So definitely stay tuned. RadioOnFire.com, TheDiamondKShow.com. On Facebook, you can always catch us live. Radio on Fire on Facebook, The Diamond K Show also on Facebook. And visit the website, RadioOnFire.com. Get breaking news, entertainment, original programs, and progressive coverage by and for the people, all on RadioOnFire.com. If you want to advertise on the show, djdiamondk@gmail.com, or visit RadioOnFire.com and click the advertising link, and all the info is right there. As I said, I'll be back tomorrow with more of the show, and your thoughts, your comments, and all of that is always welcome. I'll see you guys tomorrow.